At the next election, the Tories won't have Get Brexit Done. They won't have the inexorable Jeremy Corbyn. They won't have Boris's boosterism. And they won't have Nigel Farage stepping aside, pulling candidates from marginal Tory seats. Following double by-election disaster for the Tories yesterday in seats safer than a night out with Mary Berry, Prime Minister Starmer looks like a foregone conclusion. And who could blame voters? Fed up with the highest taxes since the war. Fed up with inflation. Fed up with a new Prime Minister every 10 minutes. Fed up with spiralling interest rates. Fed up with the almighty economic hangover of those ridiculous and, in my view, utterly failed lockdowns. People are fed up with illegal migrant crossings and eye-watering levels of legal migration into the country, a city the size of Liverpool every year. People are fed up with the woke takeover of our institutions, fed up with crime, fed up with NHS waiting lists, fed up with everything. You couldn't blame the public for seeking change. Part of me thinks it would be very healing for Britain to give another party a chance. I do wonder whether the prospect of another 5 years of Tory rule could produce a mild democratic crisis, with woke lefties taking to the streets, placard in one hand, not my government, and a two-shot skinny cappuccino from Pret-a-Manger in the other. With left versus right having participated in a political relay race for the last 100 years, perhaps it's time for Keir Starmer to carry the baton to maintain the order of the universe. But I'm not so sure. You want lower taxes. Are they going to come down under Labour, who are planning a spending spree in the already bloated public sector? Keir Starmer's got a shopping list longer than Kim Kardashian at her local Gucci. You want inflation to come down. Is that going to happen under Labour, as they offer inflation-busting pay rises to the union barons who fund their party? You want less of the woke rubbish, which is sucking the joy out of life and making it a criminal offence to have your own thoughts and say what you think. But Starmer is a Prime Minister in waiting who still struggles to identify what a woman is, even though he's married to one. There was even a rumour floating around, unsubstantiated, that Labour could make misgendering someone criminal. In other words, calling an intact biological male who identifies as female a man. Imagine that, being banged up in prison for stating a scientific biological fact. That gives you a potential flavour of the authoritarian dystopian regime we might live under. You want reliable, cheap energy. Is that going to happen under Labour, who want to create a 1970s-style state energy company with your money, betting the house on flaky renewables, which have been such a disaster for Germany? Do you see the problem? Voters are politically homeless. The Tories and Labour are both terrible. We are between a rock and a hard place. Not helped by my friend and colleague here at GB News, Richard Tice, who is understandably hoovering up support among disconcerted Labour and in particular Tory voters. As a dominant player, I think Reform UK could be an excellent government, and Richard Tice a very fine Prime Minister. Never say never. But given their minnow status currently, it looks like taking a few thousand votes off the Tories in key constituencies, which is what happened yesterday, will achieve only one thing: a guaranteed Labour government. The right of politics in this country appears to be voting for its own extinction. They are cancelling themselves. Now, I don't think a Labour government will be all bad. The idea that it's simply time for a change is a compelling one. But at the moment, it feels to me like leaving your slightly rubbish boyfriend, who's not great, for someone even worse. Love on the rebound very rarely works out. A Labour government is coming. Be careful what you wish for. I fear Britain is about to jump out of the frying pan into the fire.